DBSync's Partner Series, where we share the invaluable insight our partners bring when successfully implementing products and services for their clients. In this year's segment in the series, we're discussing the trends that our partners are focusing on and the benefits of partnering together to meet those demands, as we know times are rapidly changing as we speak. So the focus today is to highlight what our partners are doing, getting a little bit of a bird's eye view into the work, discover the trends they're focusing on, preparing for, and lastly, confirm the benefits of partnership in the sense that how important it is to be working together to prepare to meet these types of challenges. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my guest today, Deena Tearney, who is the CEO of Pacific Point Consulting Corporation, rather. And we just like to know a little bit about kind of who you are and what you do. I know you've been with the DBSync family for, I think, about a couple years now. So tell us a little bit more about kind of your everyday, and we also kind of want to know a little bit more about what is it you think you do really well, or what do you think your company's known for that sort of sets you apart from the rest?
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Adrienne, for having me. It's nice to have this conversation, so I appreciate the time. Like you said, my name is Deena Tearney. I'm the founder and CEO of Pacific Point, and what we focus in on is Salesforce consulting. So Salesforce consulting services is our main thing. It's what we do for the majority of our customers. I think we're really good at really helping our customers define and redefine maybe their business processes so they can bring about those efficiencies and growth, fuel growth for their companies. But that's really what we're all about at Pacific Point is Salesforce consulting, and we've done several DBSync associated implementations with that as well.
Sure. Well, I know you've got your hands full for sure, because there are plenty of those folks that definitely need it. We, as you know, we work with a lot of the same people, so we know it's a great crowd, but a busy one.
For sure.
So then I guess I'm assuming probably then you've discovered both some trends from the folks that you're working for as far as Salesforce consulting, but also maybe just looking ahead, kind of seeing what's the next big thing and what does it mean to you. So tell us a little bit about how you approach that. How do you determine kind of what's worth looking at, searching for, seeking out, and kind of what has that trend look like in 2022? And maybe lastly on that, have you felt pretty prepared for that? Has it been a good experience? Or maybe what are some of the challenges you're seeing that you're realizing, wow, some of these things that are coming up are definitely going to take a lot of, planning, prep, and partnership, et cetera?
For sure. Well, I think a lot of what we do when we look ahead is we are paying attention and listening to our customers. I think we become a very clear reflection of our customer base. We do a lot of work in the public sector, in health and life sciences, and financial services, and other industries as well. But I think how we start looking ahead is we get that pulse check from our customers, and we become a reflection of the industry, of the market, based off of them. And so what we're seeing a lot of is this big desire to put more digital marketing. Digital marketing has been really high, and
Sure.
and it's a tough one. It's tough to get, weed through the noise. Our customers are dealing with those challenges. And it's a tough one to solve. So I think digital marketing is a big one. I think self-service is another that we're seeing a lot more. I mean, people were doing it before, but now it's just this accelerated push, and the investment of time that it takes for our customers to really sit down and think about what is self-service going to look like at our company is a challenge. It's really tough for customers, and we can advise them to an extent, but we're looking at how can we make that easier for them. What are the things we can do to help remove any kind of roadblocks or barriers as they go through that path? I think the third one is really, the phrase is, do more with less, right? We're in a market where our clients are facing labor issues. They're dealing with a whole set of client challenges. And I think from our side is we're really looking at how do we drive efficiency for them with this technology and with this automation? Actually, that was one of our recent DBSync projects, was synchronizing Salesforce with QuickBooks to help just remove extra time. I mean, people just, they can't hire fast enough. They can't hire the right skills. So what's happening is so much more is being automated, not only in the back end, but the front office. And it's all about that. It's like, there's so much more there. And so I think all of us as technology implementers, as partners, as technologists, as products, whatever it might be, really need to think about how do we help, maybe, at least from my perspective, in those three areas to make it easier for our customers to move quickly in digital marketing, self-service, and back office automation or any kind of automation to help them, quote, do more with less, because that's the challenges that we're seeing, and those are the things that we're keeping a pulse on. I think we're doing a good job, but I can see it's still like in each of those areas, well, man, how can I keep doing more? How can I keep thinking about the solutions in a way that they can adopt quickly? That's kind of the stuff that's in my mind.
Certainly. And, as we know, it's never ending, for one, because technology is constantly changing. So we've got to be abreast just of that and keeping up our own skills and awareness, let alone all the other things that you're talking about. And I think you're certainly right. I mean, automation, obviously what we do, and we've seen certainly an increase in that, both on our sort of typical integrations, if you will, as far as QuickBooks, et cetera, but also kind of on our back end products as well, as far as replication, backup, those where people are like, the times are rapidly changing. Like you said, we've got to do more with less. We have to have better ways to have our information available. And certainly that has been something that we think we've been able to do. And what is interesting about what you said, true in some ways, when you hear like, self-service, it sort of sounds like, oh, good, we can kind of do this on our own. You know what I mean? There's that sort of assumption. And so it kind of seems like we're moving away from, like, hey, how much more can we do kind of on our own? Or how can we sort of manage without all the help or input or, systems elsewhere? And so I think that's kind of where partnership comes in, certainly in that, yes, we know that one person and one company can't do everything. So you've got the advantage of being able to connect with others who do have those great skills, so you don't have to do everything, right? But I think it's also, when you think about kind of partnership, it's also understanding those trends, like you said, for us, data management being the huge thing that has been continued to grow and grow and grow over the last decade, or even a little bit more now. So we know that that's something that we've got to do well to help prepare our folks for, and not only use the stuff ourselves well, but also bring that out for others. So I think everything you've said has really rung a bell as far as sort of the trends that are out there, what you learn from your customers, how you prepare, and also very much trying to, even in advising, still having to do more with less. So I think sometimes in partnerships, it can feel that way too, but I'm interested to hear what you think makes kind of a great partnership. What do you look for in partners that you work for? And qualities, obviously products and services, we get that. And then what have we, do you think, done well as a partner? And maybe what are some areas where you'd like to see us do a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. Well, partnership is huge. I mean, the relationships are everything. They're everything in business. Not just with your customers, but with your partners for sure, because like you said, to be able to do everything, it's not realistic.
Yeah.
So I think when we look at product vendors, I feel like the innovation and practicality of use is just really, really high, but so close to that is trust. I mean, you have to be able to work with and trust and know that there's transparency, there's follow through, there's commitment to see the results through for your customers, that shared commonality of being able to say, we both want our customer to succeed in the end. Right. And I think that DBSync does an excellent job of that. But I mean, a lot of partners today, they're feeling, they know that it's important for they themselves to be a good partner and to seek out partners that have that common attribute. But absolutely, when it comes to technology, we're looking for good innovation, but also like the practicality of being able to implement it well, like it works. And it's got to be the case, right? You can say it does something, but when it works, it's like, okay, good. Like we look good, you look good, everybody looks good for the customer.
Proofs in the pudding.
And then of course the trust, like I mentioned, you've got to be able to trust who you're working with. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good result.
No. And you mentioned that you had done some work with us through QuickBooks. Have you had any other occasions or any of our other products that you've worked with that you've found to be helpful, productive, something that clients are looking for, and that we've been able to help you with? Because like you said, one of our big things is certainly trust and loyalty as well. And we want people to know that we're here. We've got a great support team, because we know things can go wrong, but we're here and we're going to stick it out till we fix it. So, we're dogged that way, and we think that's really an important piece of, obviously, partnership is, not just, hey, here's the product you need, good luck, but really sticking with, going, helping, moving through, advising, all those good things. But I'm just curious if you've had, I know we kind of know QuickBooks is our bread and butter, but what other experiences have you had, if any?
Yeah, no, QuickBooks been really our main thing, and I would echo what you just said. I mean, I think when we get on the calls with the DBSync team, they're really checking to see, is this the right solution set for what we're trying to accomplish? And it ends up being that that's the one that, is the right fit. But
Right.
integration's huge, connecting data is massive, like in any of all of our customers, from one, and any spectrum, from large enterprise, big government, all the way down to like small businesses. But no, we've had most of our experience with DBSync, and like I said, I felt like the team has done a really good job of getting on the phone with us and saying, okay, wait, let me just validate what is it that we're after. Because a lot of times it's not the common, at least every implementation of QuickBooks DBSync that we've done has not just been the basic, like, here it is. We've had to get the extras, for the custom objects and a little bit of extra support as well. So it's worked out quite well.
Well, that's good. I mean, I certainly, as we strive for, so I'll send that feedback back. But I think you're certainly right in that. That's what builds the trust, right? Is knowing that, okay, not only here's a product we have, blam, take it, but no, it's the customization, it's the understanding of how everything works on all the different levels to make sure those solutions work. So I do know we've definitely put in the time for that, and I'm glad it's working thus far, right?
It is. Yeah, and there's nothing worse than picking the wrong thing and then afterwards being like, oh shoot, that wasn't right. So the upfront analysis and from your team has been very valuable for us to make sure we got the right things for our customers.
Good. Yeah, no, that's really important. So I'm so glad to hear that. Now, I feel like you've shared quite a bit with us today, and kind of really enforced not only the importance of, being prepared and aware of kind of what's going on in your field, but also really being in touch with your customers, knowing what they need, letting them lead in the sense of, input, but also using, the important guidance that we as experts hopefully bring when, trying to consult for some of these solutions. So I feel like, there's probably one little extra kernel of truth or wisdom you might want to share with us before we wrap up. Can be anything, just if it's something about the industry or what you really think, makes a great team, or, something that that if there's another trend out there that maybe you're not addressing that you think we should know about, just any last little kernels we would love to hear.
Well, I have so many kernels. I have so many kernels to share, but
that's great to hear, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, I think that when I look at the customers that we have and how spread thin they are at this moment, kind of coming on the heels of, what we've all been through for the last couple of years, I think I've been encouraging my team to really get out there and really think outside the box and really help be a support for them, because it's tough, when you're spread so thin, but yet you're trying to, you have to get this thing implemented, you need to do this next thing. So I would encourage everyone to just really think about how they can be, think about their customers even differently than they did the last 2 years. I just think we're in another phase. And so being innovative about that and really pushing to help them in a different way than maybe traditionally be like, okay, this part's on me, this part's on you. Now it's like, how do we solve this together? Let's get it done. And our clients just value that so much. So I would say that's the big one. And like I said, related to that is the automation, is that I'll tell you, so many of our customers are like, how can I speed this? How can I save time at every step of the way in their process? Because it's just so important.
It really is. And I think you've hit the nail on the head as far as and it's not that we don't all do this, of course, but it really stresses that it's critical for us to go that extra mile, like you said, because not only are we spread thin, but we're in new times. We've got to be nimble, but we've also got to spread ourselves a little thinner in a good way, in the sense of, because in a weird way, spreading yourselves thinner and providing all that actually brings greater results. Who knew, right? It doesn't sound like it, but in the world we live in,
right?
Especially with automation, as you're talking about, makes a big difference. So I know you're working on probably a bunch of exciting other things, as we only had 15 minutes to chat today. But where can people find out a little bit more about Pacific Point and any of the other either projects you're working on, or just anything else that you think we need to know about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, our website, pacificpointcorp.com, it's corp.com. And there's links on there to not only our blog, which we try to keep up to date pretty well, but also our social sites, our YouTube, where there's videos of some of the work that we've done. And then kind of as a sidebar, I have a podcast that I run. It's called The Audio Project with Deena Tearney, and those are more fun. And also I like doing that because a lot of what we do there is about cultivating your own leadership, cultivating your own career journey. So it's a little bit of a different take, but it's also been quite informative. So that's where you can
say the name of that one more time for us.
It's called The Audio Project with Deena Tearney, and it's on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, all the major lines. So
yeah, I'll have to look into that. That sounds like
something
one that I need as well to be, kind of, and I like the idea of, like you said, it's a little bit lighter, like, these topics, they're heavy, life is heavy. So even in difficult or challenging or important topics, you can still have a sense of humor, shall we say.
Yes, exactly.
So for those looking for a little bit more information on DBSync, you can, of course, still find us at www.mydbsync.com. We're available on many, as I'm sure Deena is too, many of the other social media options, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that good stuff. So please look for information and announcement there. And also keep an eye out for subsequent partner videos because we're really enjoying this series and getting such great information. We're going to keep it going. So please keep an eye out for the next one. So until we see you then, we'll keep your apps talking. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.